after Florida, I moved back to California and I lived with my mom for a while, and then I got my own apartment for a year while I was in another school that was similar to Full Sail. And then after that, which was also an interesting time, I moved to Alaska. So I lived in Alaska for 2 years. I lived in Fairbanks, Alaska, which is central Alaska, but it's like central North Alaska. It is very cold. The coldest thing I ever experienced there was maybe 65 below, probably close to 70 at times. It was so cold that if you don't know about Alaska, if you live there and it's cold, you have to plug your car in, or you used to, I don't know. So I had to have this like engine warmer installed in my car, and I had to plug it in anywhere I went. But it was amazing, and I lived in this place where you could see Denali, because everything around Fairbanks was relatively flat. But out in the distance, you could see the mountain ranges and Denali, which was like the biggest mountain, and it was amazing. This is not to say that people don't have faith in me, but I don't think anyone expected that I would survive very well in Alaska, but it was totally fine. I really enjoyed it. For some reason, I wasn't scared of my car at that point in time. Later on, that became a big source of anxiety for me, and even now I have a hard time sitting in a car. Because at one point I stopped at an intersection, and my car just spun around, just spun right around all the way, 360 on the ice, and that was fun. I did a lot of cool things there. I visited Denali a couple of times. I went rafting down the Nenana River. I got to go down to Valdez, which is on the southern coast. I went fishing for the first time ever. I never caught anything. One time I sort of caught a rockfish, but we had to throw it back. And I also went to Homer, which was incredible. Highly recommend Homer. Homer and Denali. Fairbanks is cool, but it's best in the summer. Like, don't go to Fairbanks in the winter. That's another thing about Alaska. It was sunny all day, all night through the summer, and dark all day, all night through the winter. Not entirely, but it got to that point. But pretty soon after I got there, I realized I didn't really want to be there. And so I moved to Oregon after 2 years in Alaska. And I think that out of everywhere that I've lived, Oregon is probably my favorite. I moved here in West Virginia. I moved here a couple of years ago, 3 years ago now, and I am always thinking about Portland. But now I'm not really sure I'm going to go back there, even though that was originally my plan. Anyway, living in Portland was amazing. For a while I lived there with my ex-boyfriend, but then we broke up, and I was there on my own for I think 2 or 3 more years, and I don't know, I just felt really at home there. I love the city. There's a lot of vegan food there. Beautiful trees, like you cannot believe the color of green of these trees. And just everything about Oregon is great. I lived just outside of Portland, and I went to school in Portland at Portland State. Anyway, after that, I moved here. So basically I'm in West Virginia now. West Virginia, not Western Virginia. It's its own state. And I hardly knew where it was on a map before I moved here. I really like West Virginia, actually. My biggest complaint is that I live in a place, like most places in West Virginia, that's a little bit isolated. There's a lot of country here and not a lot of city. The coolest thing about West Virginia is that there are so many amazing things to see. There's a lot of great camping, a lot of great hiking. There's a river, it's like the second oldest river in the world ever. It's called the New River. And an amazing bridge. I haven't been there to like see it, but I've driven past it before. There's just so much here. There's a lot to do. And it's an interesting state, I think, partially because people don't really think about it. I think we also have one of the highest populations of elderly people. Go West Virginia. Anyway, those are all the places that I lived. I really like moving, and I think it's cool to get new perspectives, and that's something that I've gotten by moving so much. I'm gonna stop rambling now because I was hoping I wouldn't have to heavily edit this one like I did yesterday, but that's not gonna happen. I will see you guys tomorrow with another video. Who knows what it'll be about or when it'll show up, but I hope that you will stick around and check it out, and let me know in the comments if you like moving, or if you've lived in any of the places that I've lived, or if you have recommendations, because I'm moving in 2 years. So tell me where to move. See you guys later. Bye.